What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. And I'm inclined to suggest that all of you were surprised that I didn't put any content after yesterday's El Clasico. If you follow me on Instagram, you would know exactly why that was, but also because I wanted to take my time to actually breathe everything in. I was just so kind of reactive from having to see our team just put on one of the worst displays against our arch nemesis. So today I want to kind of share my reflection and 3 things that Barcelona must learn after El Clásico. So if you want to join me in this journey to try and pull something positive of yesterday's terror show, then stick to this video. So the very first thing I learned was that Ernesto Valverde is not a proper coach. Valverde seems to prioritize, as we all know by now, the big names, the big time players, instead of what actually is needed. We can see that he proves this exactly with Sergio Roberto, starting right away from the midfield. Roberto was not playing in that 3-man midfield because Busquets got injured. No, he was there from the get-go. So there must be something going on between Valverde and that player, and we've seen this so many times that by decree Ernesto Valverde picks some players like Ivan Rakitic. One of the players that has suffered because of it is Arturo Vidal, and prior to El Clásico it was reported that he stormed out of the training as soon as he knew he wasn't going to start this game. And let me tell you that if I was in his position, in his same shoes, I would have done exactly the same thing. If Ernesto Valverde then gives the lineup 48 hours before the game even starts and he announces that he's going to be changing systems and putting some extra players in the midfield, there is no reason whatsoever for Arturo Vidal not to be included in that list. The most surprising part of this is that we know that we need Vidal. Barcelona are not as quick as before, they're not as sharp as before, so we have to overcompensate with legs, with just someone who runs and can cover up space. Example, for instance, back in the game against Atletico Madrid, without Arturo Vidal in the midfield, Rakitic was exposed for far more often than any other player in the field, getting dribbled past 3 times and dispossessed twice. Vidal, in other words, lets more creative players do their jobs properly, so he should have started right from the get-go. And in addition to that, the other thing that really pains me about Valverde is that he often seems to waste substitutions. He's trying to fix something that he got wrong from the start. Valverde wastes these substitutions because he's overthinking. Go with your gut, Valverde. Go with what you already know. Don't try to kind of come with a super kind of extravagant solution to a team like Real Madrid. Because as I'm gonna talk right now, Zidane was completely opposite to Ernesto Valverde, because he went with what he know, with what he thought right from the get-go was gonna do the job, and it worked out. Zinedine Zidane, like I said, got his tactics completely right at the Camp Nou, and he right now has become the first unbeaten coach in Real Madrid to not have lost a game in 5 at the Camp Nou, which is a very good record for someone that normally is criticized for not knowing anything about tactics. His side was playing everything that Barcelona was not. I'm talking they were vibrant, they were decisive, they were super hardworking, and most importantly for me, they were just overcommitted in defense and attack. They were playing like it was a Champions League final. Zidane decided to go with a deep block that seemed to be kind of like the way to go now every time that they want to affront the Barcelona Catalans, because in reality we don't seem to have the tools necessary to break a unit down. Playing Valverde over Modric, more importantly, also shows that Zidane prioritizes performances while someone like Valverde prioritizes keeping the camp happy. And newsflash, Valverde, if you're here listening to this, winning keeps your camp happy as well. The second thing that I learned in this game is that Frenkie de Jong simply cannot do it alone. Like, literally. We're saying that their newest signing to our midfield is the guy running the show. Busquets was a very big miss, but in reality, Frenkie de Jong was the only midfielder trying to constantly produce some sort of spark. I'm talking the only player, in my opinion, on that field apart from Piqué, Ter Stegen and Griezmann, trying to prevent pressure and producing unpredictable passing. Though a majority of the Barcelona fan and the community will surely blame it on Ernesto Valverde for the debacle, this is one to blame on the players too, and I really encourage you guys to do some auto self-critic. They need to take a long, hard look at themselves and over the winter just decide how badly they want to win trophies this season. Because if not, we're going to keep going down and down and down and down the ladder of European teams. Because right now, Barca are not even for me in the top 5. And at number 3, I'm going to go with the one which worries me the most. And that is that Barcelona players are content with the result. Question mark. Are you really content with this result? We're gonna start with Ivan Rakitic, that he says the following through Marca.com. We are happy at full time and our form is positive at the moment, but that final pass, our final touch of quality in front of goal was missing. Real Madrid made it difficult for us from the start, but we got back into the game and deserved a result. Are you dumb, buddy? Are you really that dumb, mate? Which quality in front of goal? We only had 9 chances, and when we did, we got back into the game? Are you kidding me? The first chance was for Real Madrid, and so it was the last one. Literally, the game was played 46% of the time in the middle third in neutral ground, 35% on ours, and only 19% off in theirs. So there was no competent game here. Barcelona didn't compete whatsoever. And then the next player, which does it in a little bit less of a cocky fashion, is Clement Lenglet. Lenglet is a player which he's getting kind of his name growing bigger here in this Barca team, but what he just said in this press conference, in this post-match reaction, doesn't cut it for me. We feel like we've dropped 2 points. We missed clear chances and it leaves us with a bittersweet feeling. Okay, it was very short, very sweet, but what's the point I want to highlight? We feel like we've dropped points. Guys, let me tell you, Barcelona were not getting 2 points. We are happy to win 1 point. That's how you need to be feeling. We were not superior. There's nothing that inclines us to believe that we dropped 2 points. The 3 points were not there from the get-go. They were not. We are lucky to come up with 1 point, and you should be following who for me right now, after Messi, needs to be the captain, and that is Frankie de Jong. Look at how he speaks. The game in itself was a bit disappointing. The atmosphere and all was great, but we wanted to play better. If you're Barca and you play at home, you always have to win. They pressed us a lot this time. As a consequence, we had one-on-one situations in attack, but I don't think we got forwards well enough. That was the main problem. If you draw at home, you are never satisfied. I think that suited Madrid. They pressed us and played bravely. They didn't beat us, and they did play well. As you can see from my enunciation, there are 3 main parts that I really want to highlight in his kind of statement. As a consequence, we had one-on-one situations in attack, but I don't think we got forwards well enough. That is completely key. De Jong, you speak the absolute truth. Since we couldn't get forward at all, there was no counterattack, absolutely zero counterattack power from Barcelona in this game. That was why we were really lacking. De Jong was constantly trying. Whenever he got the ball, he tried to run past one player, and he was the only one trying exactly that. After that, if you draw at home, you are never satisfied. You are never satisfied. He shows that he wanted to win. He shows that he wanted his first El Clasico to end up with 3 points and a victory. He wanted to feel good about the game that he played. But he doesn't feel that way because Barcelona didn't live up to expectations. Completely different statement. Literally sun and moon difference, day and night. De Jong is not satisfied while Rakitic and Lenglet can go happy at home saying, oh, we got a draw, oh, we did well. No, you didn't. Acknowledge the error, because then you can actually start to notice that it needs to be fixed. And then finally, for me, the most important one, Real Madrid played bravely. That's everything in football, guys. What happens on the field and tactics are 50%. The other 50% happens up here. If your players have the right attitude, the right mentality, they go forward, they run an extra mile. I always say this, and that is why sometimes I get blamed that I don't go too deep on tactics enough. Because from the way I perceive the game, 50% is up there in your head. You need to be ready to go and affront the game like it's the last day of your life. And if you really want to win it, if you really want to be the best, you can get it. Do not ever forget that. For life, for football, for everything, if you want something, if you work hard enough, you can get it. And that is what De Jong is saying here. So guys, if you agree with De Jong, if you agree with I've been commenting and criticizing of Barcelona in this video, be sure to show appreciation with a like rating. If you didn't, Disagree, dislike, and tell me why in the comment box down below. We are all in this together. We are the same fan base. I'm not gonna scrutinize anyone. Never, ever, ever, guys, never feel embarrassed to let your opinion be known. So with that, I'm gonna be signing off. Hopefully you subscribe, hopefully you're here tuning in for the next video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, ciao.